And now, for fans of the most exciting sport in the world, the MMA Live Chat Hour. Listen up and find out what's happening in the world of MMA. Hello and welcome to the MMA Live Chat Hour. I'm Rich Davie. It's Sunday, February 2nd, 2014, the day after the UFC 169 Barao vs. Faber 2 event. On today's show, we'll be discussing the UFC 169 Barao vs. Faber 2 event. We'll be reviewing the results of the predictions for the event that we gave on the last show, and we'll talk about a couple of other MMA-related topics as well in the Final Thoughts segment. On today's show, we have yours truly, Wes Fiorentino, Sugar Pooper, David Petruick, and Alex Schlinsky. Thanks for taking part in another show, guys. I appreciate you all taking the time to be here and joining me to discuss the event. Go ahead and say hello to anybody that might be listening.
What's up, fight fans?
Morning, everybody.
How you guys doing?
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
Okay, guys, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. This is the results show for round 3 of the Season 2 predictions that we've been doing. We'll go ahead and we'll recap how the crew's doing after 3 rounds of our fight predictions in just a minute. But first, here's how we score the results of the predictions. Recapping the scoring system: if you pick the correct fighter but don't get the correct method around, you earn 4 points. If you pick the correct fighter and method, or the correct fighter round, you earn 7 points. If you pick the correct fighter, round, and method, or correctly call the winner by decision, you earn 10 points. Here's how the guys did on the last show. Damon and David went 5-2 with their picks. Sugar and Rich went 4-3 with their picks. Wes and Alex went 3-4 with their picks. Okay, round 3 standings. In first place, Damon went 5-2 with 32 points out of 70. Second place, David went 5-2 with 30 points out of 70. Third place, Sugar went 4-3 with 22 points out of 70. Third place, Rich Davie went 4-3 with 22 points out of 70. Fourth place, Alex went 3-4 with 18 points out of 70. And in fifth place, Wes went 3-4 with 12 points out of 70.
Oh, God.
Well, yeah, overall, we didn't do that good, but guys, I'm going to blame that on the dreadful scoring by the judges on that event, because if it wasn't for the dreadful scoring, Damon and David probably would not be sitting in the 30, in the 30 area there. I mean, I thought that, I don't know about you guys, but I thought the scoring was just absolutely dreadful. What did you guys think?
For which fight?
Oh man, I just thought overall. I mean, there was like 3 or 4 fights where I thought, man, what fight are these guys watching?
I mean, the Tom Watson-Nick Catone fight was pretty bad. I mean, it was a terrible fight to judge anyways because it was a terrible fight in general. But the John McDessie-Alan Patrick fight, another pretty bad fight. But how does Alan Patrick win that fight? Especially 30-27? Are you kidding me? What is that? Terrible, terrible.
Yeah, that was dreadful, wasn't it?
Yeah, really bad.
All right, let me just finish wrapping that up. Here's how we stand after the 3 rounds of predictions. We have a new first place leader, thanks to the dreadful scoring. After 3 rounds of predictions, in first place, Damon Gazelle is now 13-7 with 91 points out of 200. In second place, Rich Davie is now 14-6 with 89 points out of 200. In third place, David Petruick is now 12-8 with 82 points out of 200. In fourth place, Wes Fiorentino is now 12-8 with 75 points out of 200. In fifth place, Sugar Pooper is now 9-4 with 69 points out of 130. And in sixth place, Alex Schlinsky is now 6-7 with 45 points out of 130. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and, if you want to carry on from where we left off there a second ago, go ahead.
Apparently the guys on Sherlock had a 30-27 McDessie.
Yeah, because
A lot of sites did.
I had a 30-27 McDessie.
I had a 29-28.
I mean,
well, one of the Ariel Hawani was saying how I don't know which scorecard and which fight he is talking about, but one of the judges didn't even add up the numbers right. So the actual scoring is, I guess, 1 point off of what it should have been if you, with how you score a fight. It was like the round would have been scored, the one judge would have scored around 9 to 8.
Yeah, I had it 29-28 for McDessie. I gave Patrick, I think, the second round.
I don't
Yeah,
think I actually scored the fight, but I'm pretty sure I had it either 30-27 or 29-28 McDessie. Definitely no chance 30-27 Patrick. No way.
yeah,
Yeah, and then go ahead.
there's no way that score happened like that. But again, we mentioned in the live chat thread that we do, it seemed to be that the judges were favoring wrestling and takedowns over striking. It was just mind-blowing.
How's that
Yeah, and then
mind-blowing? They do that every freaking event. They're terrible. The judges, the refs and judges are just not good.
Yeah, but last night it was just atrocious. I mean, over and over we saw that they were favoring the takedowns over striking.
and then it makes you wonder because Ricardo Almeida was a judge last night, and he has a grappling school of his own. So you just kind of think like, is he grappling based when he judges?
Yeah,
It just goes to say that the idea that fighters would make great judges is a little overrated.
I agree. I was
Same
going
thing
to
with
make that
referees.
same I was going to make that same
Well,
comment. I agree with you
I don't
because
know
we
about
actually,
that. I don't think we can make that distinction.
well, we actually saw Almeida in one of the fights over in England where he scored the fight in a controversial manner too. I don't remember what fight it was, but I remember he was one of the judges who everybody didn't seem to agree with how he scored the fight.
Because, we are all having a cool-headed, logical conversation about this right now, right? I mean, we know how to, as fight fans, know how to watch a fight and see who wins. You don't have to be an insider. You know what I mean? You don't have to be like a decorated grappler or fighter to know who won what fight. You know what I mean? All you need to do is have a pretty good understanding of the way the scoring is supposed to work and a good understanding of the way these martial arts work when you're watching them. And it just goes to show that these judges, just do not have that at all.
Yeah, in theory, it's a good idea, a good concept that maybe it would be good to have ex-fighters as judges, but again, as I said, in the instance that I can think of, I don't remember what fight it was, but over in England, there was a controversial decision on one of the events, and Almeida was a judge on that. And then last night we saw, again, the judges seemed to be favoring grappling. So that's a very valid point that you made there. Are ex-fighters or judges going to favor grappling over striking when that shouldn't be the case?
Well, I think you guys are jumping the gun a little bit because we don't know the assignment for the McDessie fight. And I can't find it either.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
Yeah, we do know it. It's on MMA Junkie.
Who was the assignment for McDessie versus Patrick? Was Almeida in there?
It wasn't Almeida. It was another guy.
All right, so it kind of.
What about the Nick Catone
fight?
fight? What about the Nick Catone fight?
Yeah, what about the Nick Catone fight?
Yeah, that judge who did the dreadful scoring was in that fight. I can't remember his name, but.
Yeah,
he
so
seemed to be in a
couple right now.
I think you guys are using last night's overall bad judging to kind of undervalue what Ricardo Almeida does. I think Almeida is a great judge, and I like the idea of fighters judging fights. Maybe I don't like the idea of Chuck Liddell judging a fight because Chuck Liddell fights in a certain style. Maybe I don't like the idea of Hoist Gracie judging a fight, but I don't know.
Well, we're not just basing it alone on that. As I mentioned earlier, there was a fight in England where he was in a controversial decision. So,
well, where are the judging assignments on MMA Junkie?
It's listed under the play-by-play thread.
When you have judges that are scoring and looking at the fight differently from a different perspective, one judge, say, putting emphasis on striking, one putting emphasis on takedown, you're going to end up with results like this. In my opinion, to alleviate that, they just need to come up with a consensus way to judge that and actually implement that, because it just that factor alone is going to cause too much confusion just with how the fight's actually scored.
Again, I've mentioned this on other shows too. There needs to be some sort of accredited educational course that judges and refs go to so that they're all on the same page, because they are not.
It's Cardo Urso. Yeah, he's terrible. He's awful.
That guy was dreadful, man.
He's always been awful. Yeah. The problem, another huge problem with MMA judging is that, we all say that these guys are terrible, and we're absolutely right. Everyone agrees. But at the same time, they're the only ones that are showing up for the job. You know what I mean? Like anybody can volunteer, and go through like basic training for one of these jobs. It's not necessarily easy to get, but if you're persistent, you can become an MMA judge. And a lot of people start doing it. I mean, myself included, obviously.
Yeah, I actually thought that we were going to have a controversial decision in the main event and co-main event because um, Cardo Urso, or however you pronounce his name, he was involved in that. He was involved in the earlier controversial one, which I believe he was the one that scored it, 30-27
Well,
for
Yeah, I mean,
Herb Dean bailed his ass out with a controversial stoppage instead of a controversial decision.
Yeah.
The only really egregious error last night was the Patrick McDessie fight, and I mean the Catone Watson fight wasn't the greatest judging, but that fight was garbage anyways, and neither of them deserved to win. So what does it matter?
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on, and we'll start talking about the event from the main fight down. Fight number one, champ Renan Barao versus Urijah Faber. A bit of an unexpected turn of events in that one. I think most people thought Barao was going to win this matchup, but not in the manner that he did. Barao hurt Faber multiple times straight away in round one, and then again just before Herb Dean stopped it. Faber wasn't happy with the stoppage, as he stated post-fight that Herb Dean asked him to show he was all right. He did give a thumbs up to indicate that he was still in it. Even Joe Rogan stated in the post-fight interview he was sorry that the fight was stopped in the way that it was, or something to that effect. And then in the post-fight presser, Helwani asked DFW about the stoppage, and DFW stated that Dean is one of the best in the business, but he made a mistake with the stoppage in the Faber-Barao fight because Urijah was actually blocking the punches and gave a thumbs up. So what did you guys think? Was that stoppage a bit premature or what?
I just managed to watch it actually as we speak, and yeah, that was a horrible stoppage.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad stoppage. It's hard for me because I'm very biased because I'm a huge Urijah Faber fan. He got really badly rocked right before. If Barao landed maybe one more shot right on the ground, he might have been knocked out cold. But Urijah was able to spring back up, and knowing Urijah and his history of fights, that guy's a straight up warrior. When you think about legendary warriors, Urijah Faber has to be up there. He's been at the cream of the crop for so long. The face of the 145 division of the UFC now comes down bantamweight, kind of stole his opportunity to fight back. I mean, he was turtled up. It was a bit of a, he wasn't defending himself great, but I think it could have went on a little bit.
That wasn't completely a complete turtling up because, you could see him completely from the side, and Faber even mentioned in the post-fight presser after the fight that, what was he supposed to do to show that he was all right? Take his hand
exactly.
out?
And the idea... Oh, sorry, go ahead, Rich.
No, I'm good.
Well, this idea of intelligently defending yourself, people need to rethink what that means, because the very basis of intelligently defending yourself from a guy punching you in the face is putting your hands in front of your face and blocking that. That is like the very basic level of intelligent defense. You know what I mean? But what are you supposed to do?
Yeah, was he supposed to let go of his face and go, "Hey, I'm good, Herb"?
Yeah. Here, punch me in the face so that to prove that I'm still conscious.
Well, I think maybe if Urijah scrambled or did something, he was in the turtle position for like 5 seconds, and then Renan Barao looked at Herb Dean and kind of like said, "When are you going to stop this?" Making it build to that apex where the fight may be stopped, and then Herb Dean has to make that split-second decision: do I stop this fight or not? The thing is, Herb Dean is usually so good at not doing it. We saw in the UFC 166 bout against Cain Velasquez and Junior Dos Santos. Cain rocked Dos Santos, almost knocked him out, and literally was almost touching him, and then didn't. He let go. But I would have said that would have been a better stoppage than last night's stoppage. I thought Urijah Faber could have fought more. What he could have done: get up, scramble, move. Come on.
Yeah, but you can't just do that when a guy's hammer fisting.
You can't just say, "What am I supposed to do?" You're supposed to do something. You got to do something. You got to move out of the turtle. You got to get up. You got to move. You got to hook his leg. He wasn't doing anything. You gave him a thumbs up.
Yeah, but it wasn't a complete turtle like.
Yeah, and you can't just randomly scramble when the guy's hammer fisting you in the face, right? You have to wait for your moment. You have to pick your moment, or else you will get hammer fisted in the face, and you will.
No, I know that. That's what I'm saying. It was quick, but he was told to do something. That's when. At that point, you have to do it, or the fight's going to get stopped.
Yeah, I did see some comments there where people were saying, "Oh, so now all of a sudden you give a thumbs up, and that's intelligently defending yourself." I thought, I think that's being a little, facetious from fans who were saying that.
Well, that's just
I don't know, like the stoppage itself was premature because all the the punches that were being thrown in the ground and pound were being blocked by Uriah's hand, but you got to keep in
I think
mind.
even Barao said he thought it was stopped early in the post-fight presser.
You got to keep in mind, Herb Dean just witnessed 2 knockdowns that were pretty devastating, and it was a beatdown pretty much. I mean, you can't blame the guy for stopping it, but like I said earlier, it doesn't help that Barao kept looking up at the referee, and that made things a lot weird.
Well, maybe we should say for anybody who didn't get to see the fight, Renan Barao defeated Urijah Faber by TKO due to punches in round 1 at 342 to retain the UFC bantamweight title. So, just in case anybody who didn't get to see it, that's what we're speaking about.
I think, I think the fight could have been a little more than I think Urijah had a little more to show, definitely. And just if Herb Dean had just taken even just another split second to assess, I mean, I think Urijah would have, obviously would have done something. I just think that it was still early on in the fight, and I think they were both, even for Urijah, I mean, Barao came in like a firecracker. He was just, I mean, he was lighting him up with those combos. Like, his hands were like grease lightning last night. But I think the fight could have gone on, and I think Herb Dean could have just taken that split second just to assess and maybe even say, come on, Urijah, like, give him that one more kind of like goading to like, come on, Urijah. Like, I mean, we've all seen Urijah fight. We've all seen him in epic battles, and just, it was, I guess from the fans' point of view, it would have been a nice fight to see go on. Because I guarantee I think it would have had gone on to be a little bit more of a war for sure. Urijah was saying it's the best Urijah he's ever been in his life, and it's when it comes to protecting the fighters, and I mean, I always look to be in support of this becoming like a really big mainstream sport, and the last thing anybody needs is to have that fight go on a little too long, and then all of a sudden you get a fighter that gets a serious injury or something like that. So
I saw a lot of people on Twitter last night making jokes that the reason Herb Dean stopped it so early was to make up for the non-stoppages early on in the event.
Yeah, people say that every time there's a controversial stoppage, people say that about like referees and things like that. And you see that in other sports too, like, oh, the ref threw a flag because he didn't throw a flag in the earlier pass interference call, you know? That's,
Herb Dean, to be honest with you, his refereeing seems spotty. He was the main ref at the card here in Calgary that I went to, and that's the one that he took so much flack for letting Bosch and Bosch and Congo basically hold each other on the fence.
Sean Jordan in Congo.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Hold each other on the fence for 15 minutes.
Well, I mean, he's a great ref, but everyone has to make mistakes. But
he seems spotty. Like, it seems his reffing style varies. It's not
UFC
always the same.
166 also, David. The Cain Velasquez was annihilating Junior Dos Santos.
That was scary.
Junior Dos Santos is too tough for his own good. That guy looked like he was a zombie dying inside the octagon, and he wouldn't stop it.
It was scary.
But Urijah Faber's turtled up and giving a thumbs up, so I'm going to stop the fight in the first round.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And honestly,
I don't know. In Herb's defense, Junior never went down until the 5th round, and Urijah got knocked down twice in the first round.
He got rocked in the 3rd round by a huge right hook. Fell on the fence.
I thought it should have been stopped too, but in his defense, he never went down.
Yeah.
Dos Santos did go down. He was dropped in the 3rd round.
Okay, let's get back on topic. Anything else about this particular fight that we want to speak about?
Last thing I want to say about the fight is that I thought before the event, that this would be Uriah's last shot at a UFC title. But after the controversial ending, I think one more win, or 2 more, he'll get right back in the title hunt or title shot.
Yeah, we spoke about that in the pre-show chat, and it seems that DFW wasn't happy, and that he did seem to think that that stoppage wasn't really going to impact Faber's standings in the rankings.
Well, it does go down as a loss.
Yeah, it does go down as a loss.
Unfortunately.
But the UFC doesn't pay any attention to their rankings anyway. They just make fights the way they want to make them.
I agree with Alex. The fact that it was a controversial stoppage and it was on short notice is going to mean that Urijah Faber with a win or two gets another title shot.
Well, would you say that if last night ended in a decision where Barao dominated like in the first fight, which by the way, another really bad thing about last night, them saying every time, oh, their first fight was so close. It wasn't close, Joe Rogan. Don't lie.
It was not close. It was not close.
It was not close. But Urijah Faber's a different fighter, so that it provides a new intrigue. But regardless, Urijah Faber, if he lost last night in the same fashion as he did at UFC 149 to Renan Barao, I don't think he would get another shot at the title. I think his career would pretty much be over.
Yeah, I understand that sentiment. Dude, Joe Rogan, man. I mean, sometimes he's on it, but when he's off, it's like, what fight are you watching? How much did you smoke before this event?
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. I love Joe Rogan and everything, but sometimes I just totally disagree with the guy.
Totally.
Okay, anybody want to sum this one up? Last comment on this event, on this bout. I'm going to take that as a no.
Another day, another awful stoppage.
Right, let me just recap how we did here. Wes, Damon, David, Sugar, and I all went with Renan Barao by decision. We all got 4 points. Alex went with Urijah Faber by decision. He got 0 points. Okay, moving on to fight number 2.
I'm back.
Champ Jose Aldo versus Ricardo Lamas. That was the co-main event for the UFC Featherweight Championship title. What did you guys think about that one?
I mean, was anyone, like, uberly impressed with Jose Aldo last night? Like, I was impressed, but was anyone amazed by Jose Aldo last night?
No, it was the typical thing with him. I mean, he dominated early on and started getting a little weaker in late the fourth, and then in the fifth, he lost that round.
It looks like maybe he's struggling with the cut, the weight cut. I mean, we've seen that before.
100%. It seems like he coasts in his fights now because you see slightly he has that explosiveness. Last night he was putting together these right hooks to the body and then leg kicks that were just, oh my God, devastating beyond belief. If he could throw 3 of those together at once, maybe he could finish him. Lamas is tough as nails, though. He took
no doubt
ridiculous shots. Unbelievable. That would knock down much weaker fighters than Ricardo.
Yeah, I thought by the second round or the third round he was going to be done for. Because
I thought he was going to be limping, and he didn't limp at all. He was trying capoeira kicks and whatever. And by the way, Joe Rogan was talking a lot of crap about Ricardo Lamas last night, and he looked good. So that was not cool.
Well, early on he was talking crap about him, but later on in the fourth round he was saying, he was paying props to him for saying how well he was doing.
Yeah.
He was actually throwing kicks and things like that.
The thing is, all of Lamas's leg kicks were checked. He didn't set any of them up. 2, he went for 1 takedown in the whole fight. In the last round, he got a reversal, amazing reversal off the cage. It was great. But what is Ricardo Lamas known for? Being a bully. So what's he going to do? He should be in there, attacking, get the takedown. I know it's no easy task to get a takedown on Jose Aldo, but get him on the mat, get him on the fence, elbow him, and do what you did to Eric Koch. Don't try to strike with Jose Aldo because you're going to lose every day.
You don't want to get
let me just let the people know out there who might not have seen the fight that we're speaking about Jose Aldo defeating Ricardo Lamas 49-46, 49-46, 49-46 to retain the UFC featherweight title. So everybody saw it the same. I think probably all fans saw it the same way as well. How did you guys score that one? The same way as the judges?
Yep.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't actually see the fight live.
Only round to Lamas was the 5th.
The 5th.
I could have given the 5th round to Aldo, honestly. It was
even when Aldo's coasting, he still looks like poetry in there.
100%.
Those combos he was setting up are just redonkulous. Like I was saying to my buddy that was watching, I'm like, that is martial arts. That is just, it's beautiful.
Why didn't he put more of that together?
I know it's disappointing because that's the Aldo you would see before, that he would go beyond just putting together those beautiful combos and he would just destroy the opponent, finish them. So that I would have liked to have seen Aldo do that, and I mean, I honestly do think he could have done that. I mean, that's why I picked it by second round TKO.
Yeah, all you guys thought it was going to be a TKO, except for me. I went with decision, and Sugar actually thought Lamas was going to win it. So yeah, you guys were expecting a lot more.
Yeah. But he did. I actually completely agree with Alex. It's just like he totally coasted through it. He put together the combos when he had to, and put together the good strikes and looked good shined in the moments where he had to, guaranteed.
Yeah, I
And
thought it
then,
was going to go a decision because I didn't think he was going to, take a chance and risk losing so he could.
And that's something Rogan even pointed out, that's kind of the fighter that he's witnessed Aldo become, is someone that's a little more reserved and conservative when it comes to, he wants to hold that title. So
I guess, but we still do see some brutal knockouts from Aldo from time to time. I think it's more.
We've only seen one in the UFC, Wes.
Yeah, but he's also seen like brutal beatdowns of guys like Kenny Florian.
Well, Mendez and Zombie, but Zombie got injured.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm not talking about.
Yeah, that one doesn't count.
I'm not
look.
including that.
On paper, it does.
Okay, listen to this. In 8 WEC fights, Aldo had 7 finishes. In 6 UFC fights, Aldo has 2, and one of them was Chan Sung Jun's injury.
Yeah.
It's a GSP syndrome.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that. I think it's the 145 cut is killing him. You see his explosiveness in spurts last night, but if he does that too much, he's not going to be able to make it through the 4th and 5th rounds.
Well, it seems like a lot of people are
That's why he was able to knock out
speaking about
Mendez
that
because it was the first
GSP.
round.
It seems like a lot of people are now starting to speak about the GSP syndrome because you didn't hear too many professionals speaking about that, but now when they start talking about it during the main event,
Because now it's become like a Joe Rogan, Mike Goldberg cliche. That's why.
God, those cliches
But
suck.
that's why currently my 2 favorite champs are Barao and Jones, because both of them and Velasquez, both of them go out there all of them go out there to get the win decisively.
What about Rousey?
Oh, she's on a different level from most of the women out there. I can't wait to see the McMahon fight, but
all.
Yeah,
Literally all.
I know. It is true. It's what can be said. Nobody really stands a chance against her.
When you beat every single opponent you have by the same way, that's not you, that's them.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, she's great, but that's them.
Oh yeah.
Misha Tate's a warrior though, man. That was a great fight they had.
I love Misha. I think she's great.
I'm not a big fan, but
I think she's great
I lost respect for her. I used to be a fan of hers, but I lost respect for her when she disrespected Kat Zingano in the octagon.
Yeah, that shit was whack when she put her hand on her face. That was
I
whack.
thought that was stupid. Definitely just
Fight though, Rich. They're fucking punching each other in the face. Come on.
Yeah, but then again, before that, she was trying to do the Nick Diaz bullshit where she was talking shit like Nick Diaz.
Yeah.
And I don't care for that in fighters. I like the respectful fighters. If you're a badass,
100%. Demetrius Johnson is becoming quickly one of my favorite fighters. Suddenly learned to knock people out, and now he's also just dominating.
That was a brutal knockout.
if you're a badass, you want to be a
pounds.
badass. You don't need to do disrespectful shit. And
My super fight in my mind is Demetrius Johnson, Urijah Faber. If Demetrius Johnson moved up to 135 and fought Urijah Faber, I'd be super
all right, well, let's
happy.
stay on topic and finish talking about this one here. Any other comments on this one, guys?
Not so much.
Anybody else?
I mean, other than, who's next for Jose Aldo, I guess.
Pettis.
Anthony Pettis.
That fight is made already, according to DFW in the post-fight presser.
Really? They're going to have him come back and fight Jose Aldo?
Yep.
I think both camps wanted.
That's awesome.
I think
Pettis
both camps.
Pettis called during the post-fight presser. I guess he was watching, and he called during the post-fight presser, and DFW said, "Oh, that was Pettis." He said he'll take the fight, make it happen.
Once it's in the right.
That sounds pretty staged. What is that noise?
Somebody's having a difficult time.
I think
West.
Yeah.
I think both camps want the fight because they had like a 3-4 month training camp training against for each other, and it just makes sense. It's the biggest money fight they can make at the moment for Aldo and Pettis.
100%.
It sucks for everybody in the title
Pettis
picture
would
of
be better at
155, though.
155. Also, who doesn't want to see Cub Swanson versus Chad Mendez rematch for the featherweight title?
Did they really fight?
They fought in the WEC. Chad Mendez.
Oh, okay.
And Aldo's going to vacate the belt and move to 155? That's what it is?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And the DFW said if he loses, then he can go back down and challenge for the championship right away.
Yep. All right, let's move to the next fight.
That's gonna be
Okay,
a
let me
sick
wrap
fight.
this one up here, guys, so I can let everybody know how we did with our picks. Wes went with Jose Aldo by TKO in 3, got 4 points. Damon went with Jose Aldo by TKO in 2, 4 points. David went with Jose Aldo by TKO in 2, 4 points. Sugar went with Ricardo Lamas by decision, 0 points. Alex went with Jose Aldo by TKO in 3, 4 points. And I went with Jose Aldo by decision and got 10 points. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to Wes now.
All right, up next we had Alistair Overeem versus Frank Mir at heavyweight. Alistair Overeem earning the unanimous decision, 30-27 across the board. What were your guys' thoughts on that fight?
I mean, DFW came out and said that that he didn't like the performance Overeem put, but I thought it was a one-sided beatdown, and I do agree that he was coasting maybe the third, maybe the second, but I mean, look at Frank Mir's face, man. The guy was doing work.
Yeah, well, Frank Mir always gets like that as of lately. I mean, anytime he takes a shot, yeah, all the time. I mean, and yeah, I agree with Sugar. Definitely, it was a one-sided beatdown, but I think what DFW was hoping for, and the reason he made those comments was he was expecting Frank to get knocked out cold, probably in 1 or 2.
Well, I mean, I feel like Alistair could have knocked him out. He looked solid overall. He dominated Frank Mir.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be over
139 to 5.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be over.
139 to 5. That is unbelievable stat. That's only the 4th highest margin and differential in heavyweight history. But he fought super safe in the 2nd and 3rd round. He didn't want to blow his gas tank. He looked really good cardio-wise. He looked the best Overeem we've seen since Brock Lesnar. But he should have been able to knock out Frank Mir.
Yeah, but is that really a fair way to gauge his performance against somebody like Frank Mir, who,
I mean,
let's admit it, guys, I love Frank Mir, but he's on the downside, man. It's probably time
So I mean, Overeem
retire.
Yeah, it's time for him to think about going elsewhere, because he even said that.
Fox Broadcasting, please, Frank, please.
Well, he still wants to fight, apparently, because he said...
No Bellator.
Because he even said if the UFC does, in fact, cut him, he has no problem going to fight elsewhere. So he's not thinking about the broadcast booth. He's thinking about continuing his career as a fighter. So I think maybe the reason behind that is because maybe he wants to go elsewhere, fight lesser competition, and try to
win a title.
Well, maybe try to win a title, but try to pad his record a little bit more with a few more wins. But
I think it's only about money if that's the situation. There should be he has nothing left to prove. He's been the UFC champion twice. Like, why is he doing this?
Well, I gave my reason why I think he's doing it, but apparently he doesn't want to quit. He's already made that known.
No, he just seeming from. I've watched a lot of those kind of behind-the-scenes things with the fighters and where they follow the fighters and stuff. It's kind of like he really enjoys that lifestyle of being a fighter. So
I love Frank Mir. I agree with Alex. I would love to see him in the broadcast booth. I think he's one of the best guys out there. But again, he was fantastic in WEC when he was doing broadcast stuff and color commentary. But he made a comment, and I don't remember what the comment was.
He wanted Brock Lesnar to die in the ring. He wanted to break his neck.
Right. That was it. So maybe
people overreacted so badly.
Yeah, maybe the UFC isn't going to have him in the broadcast.
Said that on
booth because of
broadcast?
No, he said it like in an interview. It wasn't even on the broadcast, and they fired him.
Yeah.
What? That's crazy.
How many times have you heard fighters talking about wanting to kill the other guy? It's total overreaction.
A million times.
Yeah, totally hypocritical.
Yeah.
Are you serious? That's crazy.
Well, at the time, Brock Lesnar was the big upcoming phenom that never panned out, so that was probably
What do you mean that never panned out? Brock Lesnar was the UFC champion.
He sucked.
What are you talking about?
We're going off topic.
Brock Lesnar sucked. He fucking beat guys that were much smaller than him, that were heavyweight fighters, and he was a super heevyweight. I mean, come on. When he fought men his size, he didn't do anywhere near as well.
Crazy. He beat Shane Carwin in an
Christ.
That was a great fight.
That was the biggest fucking travesty in UFC history.
What? That was maybe the greatest comeback in UFC history.
That was probably the most excited I've ever been after a fight in my life.
Oh, that was the worst goddamn fight I think I've ever fucking seen.
Dude, Shane Carwin was so gassed in the second round.
Brock Lesnar beat up a tired hippo.
Oh, Christ. Brock Lesnar got the shit pounded out of him in round 1, and the fight should have been called, but because it was Brock Lesnar, it wasn't.
Nah,
Because he was
that
still
fight should
conscious,
not have been
dude.
called.
He
That
was
would
not
have been
unconscious. He was fine. Well,
No,
maybe not fine.
Christ. I can see we got some Brock Lesnar nut huggers
Well,
on the show.
Oh my God! Here we go.
Uriah was defending himself better last night than Lesnar was defending himself against Carwin.
Exactly.
No, Lesnar was using the perfect defense. Eat the punches with your face.
Exactly, yeah.
Rich,
Yeah,
I've been called
40
lots of things.
42 out of
Amazing
77. He blocked 42 out of 77 with his face. That was great. Great strategy.
I know.
Expert
Rich,
defense
that's
from
just-
Brock Lesnar right there. High-level MMA.
Holy Christ. How you guys can
Punches
say
to the
that was a
face
good fight
and
is
show your
beyond me.
opponent not who's tough.
I did not say it was a good fight.
Well, thank you, David, man.
Okay.
It was awesome. You're crazy, both of you.
Rich, I'd just like to say that I've been called a lot of things in my life, but I've never been called a Brock Lesnar nut.
Well, come on, when you look at it, he
That's
beat
great.
Heath Herring. I love Heath Herring. Interviewed the guy. He's a really cool guy. I like
He
the
beat
guy.
Heath Herring's ass.
Yeah. But
Dominating.
again, you know, Heath Herring was supposed to be with the new Phenom when he was brought over to the UFC heavyweight division, was going to shake things up. That never panned out. But again, you know, a lot of stock was put in him and, you know, put up against Lesnar. And, yeah, Lesnar beat him. But really, I mean, was that really a benchmark to say, wow, Brock Lesnar's a great fighter?
Yes. Heath Herring fought Mirko Krokop. He fought in Pride. He was a. We're talking
Christ, don't get
about
me
a guy who was
started
a
on.
WWE
Don't get me
wrestler
started
that
on.
never
He
did
lost all
anything
those
besides
fights, dude.
wrestle.
He lost all those fights. All those big fights in Pride, he lost.
Yeah, I know that, but he's still an expert martial artist compared to Brock Lesnar, who was a WWE fighter. Brock Lesnar comes in, rocks him with an overhand right in the first round, first 20 seconds.
Send
Are you
him, like,
serious?
somersaults
He
and backwards. It was
knocks out
awesome.
Randy Couture. He beats up Frank Mir.
Holy
There's
Christ,
no
he
way
was twice the
say-
size of Randy Couture.
Okay,
Yeah, that
I
was
get
shit.
that. I get that. That was ridiculous. But he destroyed Frank Mir when Frank Mir was 250 pounds.
Well, everyone seems to be destroying Frank Mir.
Nah, that was when
Well,
Frank
now,
Mir
yeah.
had skills.
Frank
Frank
Mir
Mir-
never really had a great chin.
I'm pretty sure Frank Mir broke Minotauro Nogueira's arm after that fight.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Oh, dude, no, I'm pretty sure that Frank Mir owns Nogueira's soul and is selling it on eBay.
The
first guy?
Your shoulder.
Exactly.
Holy shit, we got way off topic on that one, didn't we?
Yes. I love Brock Lesnar.
I could tell that.
I'm going to go watch that Shane Carwin fight after this.
Oh my goodness. It's Super Bowl Sunday. Move on, my man.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for the Super Bowl. It's going to be good.
No doubt.
Okay, so anything else on this one here?
Should we
Frank
move
Mir
on
versus Alistair Overeem,
Yeah, let's
guys.
move on.
Yeah, so next up we had John
Well, hang on. I need to recap that one.
Oh, my bad.
Alistair Overeem seemed to be the favorite by everybody here. Wes went with Alistair Overeem by TKO on 1, 4 points. Damon went with the same thing, 4 points. David went with the same thing, 4 points. Sugar went with the same thing, 4 points. Alex went with the same thing, 4 points. And I was the only one who said Alistair Overeem was not going to stop him in round 1. I chose round 2, but I also got 4 points. I did want to say I thought it was extremely odd the way that one finished. I mean, I don't think anybody in the world expected a unanimous decision on that one. I mean, obviously, none of us did.
It's the dangers of a heavyweight fight. You know, it's either going to be a quick, brutal knockout, or both guys are going to gas by the early second round, and it's just going to be a slop fest for the next 10 minutes. You know.
Yeah.
Does it bother you guys that there's not enough cardio heavyweights at this point? We're in 2014, and the only guy that can keep his cardio is Cain Velasquez. Are you kidding me?
I've come to terms with it. I'm not happy about it, but I've made my peace with it.
I respect it then.
And also, when you look at that in contrast to the heavyweight fighters in boxing, it's like, come on, man.
Do heavyweight?
I mean, I know
I'm
it's
not
two
a big
different
boxing
dynamics,
guy.
and
Do
you're using a
heavyweight
lot more
boxers
energy in
gas out?
MMA.
Do heavyweight boxers gas out as bad as they do in MMA?
Well, they don't use all the same muscle groups that the MMA fighters
Right,
do.
that's what I was saying.
They're not getting
Yeah.
pushed up against the fence. But I'm saying, do they gas out? I mean, for anyone that's a boxing fan.
Yeah, not even after 6 or 7 rounds did they gas out, I don't
I
think.
don't think Klitschko standing with his arm held out like a zombie for 12 rounds can get tired.
Well, Klitschko's also the elite of the elite. You know what I mean? He's like the Cain Velasquez of boxing, right?
Yeah, he's the best. He hasn't lost
But that's,
ever.
Yeah, that's why boxing is like sort of a superficial argument to make in this case, because like we don't see like the slop fest of the heavyweight division in boxing, right?
The heavyweight,
Yeah.
it has made an evolution in the fighters being a little more, I guess, having good conditioning, and it has improved in that manner. Kane is just he's heads and tails above everybody in that field, but I'd say there has been improvement.
I love the way he beat down fucking Brock Lesnar. That was probably my most glorious, glorious moment in MMA history.
You gotta love
the worst thing ever. But I like Brock Lesnar's dance move, that little spin. It was nice.
Yeah, I love that breakdancing move. That was awesome.
Like, woo! Check out my spin.
That was his audition for So You Think You Can Dance.
No, Dancing with the Stars, bro.
Yeah, Dancing with the Stars floating around your head.
Yeah, did you guys see the GIF that was going out there with that, with the
with the strobe lights?
So funny. God damn it, I love Brock Lesnar.
I'm going to guess you're a WWE fan as well.
No, not at all. I can't stand it.
The best GIF I think I've ever seen, though, it's called The Fresh Prince of the UFC. It's Lyoto Machida knocking out Rashad Evans. You guys got to look it up.
Oh, God, I'm checking that out right now.
It's literally the funniest GIF I've ever seen in my life.
All right, let's move on to the next fight.
Yes.
So, Alex, you want to bring us to the next fight?
It's a busy day.
All right, so the next fight we have is Abel Trujillo versus Jamie Varner, and what a battle it was. In a night of
I think we actually missed one, fellas.
What fight did we miss?
Lineker and Bogatinov.
Oh, God.
Oh, whoops, I announced it before and you stopped me. You got me all mixed up. Yeah, so that's your fault, Rich. No, I'm just kidding. But,
yeah, I know.
Yeah, next up we've got John Lineker.
We're going way off topic here and there today, but what the fuck? There's only 5 of us today.
Yeah, right? At least we showed up. Yeah, so next up we got John Lineker. Sorry. Sorry, I watched the GIF again, so I'm laughing really hard. But so next up we got John Lineker versus Ali Bogatinov. Ali Bogatinov taking the unanimous decision, 29-28 across the board. Sugar, how'd you feel about that one?
I thought Lineker looked really exhausted after 2 rounds, and after the first round, he actually looked tired. And I think that weight cut's too much for him, man. I don't know why he didn't get with Mike Dolce. Maybe it was a financial issue, but I know he did have a consultation with him. It's weird.
He was so tired he couldn't even cut his own nails before the fight.
We talked about that before the fight, his weight cutting issues.
Lineker is not a professional. Period. End of story. You have 5 fights. What is it? 7 in 7 or 6 fights. 6 flyweight fights. He's missed weight 4 times. I mean, he made the weight the 2nd time. That's unprofessional. I like him. He's a good fighter. I think personally the UFC should make a statement and cut him. I know they won't, but I would like that move. I think they should do that because you sign a dotted line, you sign a contract 6 times that you're going to fight at 125, and 4 of them you miss. Wow. You're not a UFC fighter. I'm sorry. I don't care how many times. What'd you say, David?
I was going to say I think they should cut him to teach him a lesson. Maybe it'll smarten him up. He's a young guy and he does have. I mean, I think that there is good potential for him. So
well, it's going to be difficult for them to cut him because he did make weight eventually.
Nah.
Yeah, but he's lost now. It's like, come on, man.
He lost though.
4 times in 6 fights. That's just ridiculous.
I think the only reason they haven't cut him is just because they're really still trying to build up that division. You know what I mean? There's just still not much of a talent.
He's a knockout puncher in the 125 division.
Well, it certainly doesn't hurt. Yeah. Well, it does. Well, it hurts some people.
So let's talk about Bogatinov at least. He looked pretty good last night. I mean, he didn't really impress me that much, but it looks like he's going to get the next shot at Demetrius, and Johnson should destroy him. But yeah, besides for that.
Well, I don't know if we mentioned how this one ended. It was Ali Bogatinov defeats John Lineker by unanimous decision, 29-28 on all 3 judges' scorecards.
Yeah, I give Bogatinov props for actually adhering to a good game plan against Lineker because Lineker definitely could have hurt him. You saw those body shots ripping into him, and they were doing pretty big damage. So yeah, he fought smart and took the decision. So, but against Demetrius, I don't think he's going to fare very well.
Did anyone even enjoy the fight? Like it was kind of crappy.
It was. I mean, it was just Lineker plodding forward, and
The second round was
an
pretty
occasional
good.
shot, and
Second round was not
Yeah.
bad, like because he hurt him to the body a couple times, and I thought he would be able to finish him, but he didn't.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be over in round 2 as well.
yeah,
It was pretty boring.
it wasn't as great a fight as I thought it was going to be. I actually thought there was going to be a little more leather thrown, especially in kind of close
100%.
exchanges. Like I kind of had foreseen like Lineker actually kind of getting him in that point where he had him trapped against a cage and some leather being thrown, some good leather, but
Exactly.
yeah.
I thought Bagotinov was going to push the pace and show his own punching power, and then Lineker was going to catch him on a counter and knock him out, but it just didn't happen. There was no exchanges in that fight. It was all one-sided on every round. All Ali first round, all Lineker second round, all Ali third round.
Yeah,
Kind of
that's
boring.
absolutely.
Sugar, did you see that one?
Yeah, I saw it, and it was a decisive victory for Bagotinov. I'm just glad he got the victory because now they could give a title shot to the winner without having to worry about weight-cutting issues.
Yeah, for real. That would be so annoying to have to talk about that. Oh, is he going to make the weight, 125, blah, blah, blah.
So do you guys think Lineker's going to move up now or what?
I guess so. I mean, I don't know. We got to see what the UFC does with him. There has to be some sort of punishment about this weight issue. It's ridiculous.
I gotta be thinking they asked him, DFW or somebody probably asked him, so why didn't you go with Dolce after all?
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah.
I'm thinking more than likely that UFC
You guys-
and DFW are going to pressure him and say, hey, man, come on, this is, enough is enough. Maybe it's time for you to move up in weight.
What do you
Is
guys
it-
think about what they're going to do with the Bagotinov-Demetrius fight? The casual fan does not know Bagotinov, and it didn't help that he was on pay-per-view last night, and now he's going to fight Demetrius Johnson for the title, more than likely. What do you think they're going to do with that? A UFC on Fox show?
Probably won't be a headliner. I wouldn't be surprised to see like a co-main event status for a Fox show or something like that.
For like a double title fight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that, or maybe a co-main event on a pay-per-view. Something
Yeah,
like
I heard
that
that
would be
Fox
good.
One event. That's what I thought I had heard was it was slated. Johnson and Bagotinov was slated for a Fox event.
That's
what I
good
heard.
because the UFC likes to build up lesser-known champions on Fox. Where you can get a lot of casual
Right.
viewers.
It would be
looking at
hard. It would be hard to sell a fight for Bagotinov versus Johnson as the main event, though. But they did it for Moraga, so why not, right?
yeah.
Moraga lost that fight to Dustin Ortiz.
What?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all picked Ortiz. Yeah, and then he got that close decision. It was like, what?
I was the only one who got it right.
I picked Moraga.
I
Oh,
picked
you and I-
Moraga
yeah,
also,
you weren't
but I
on
was
the show.
there.
Yeah,
I
you
was
weren't
there
on the
live,
show with us,
and
though. I was
Moraga
the
got
only
his
one
ass
on the
kicked.
show who went counter to everybody else. I was the contrarian on that pick.
You picked Ortiz?
No, I picked Moraga.
Oh, yeah, I picked Moraga too, but he got his ass kicked at that fight. He should have lost. Anyways, let's do the next one.
Were you on that show with us?
I was there.
The way I recall, I thought I was the only one who picked that one.
I don't think I was on the show with you guys, but I picked him on my picks, and I was there live.
Yeah.
That was my first live event.
Yeah, you were
Right.
telling us that. You were telling us that when you were on the show after that.
Right.
Any more comments on this one before I wrap it up and give the results of how we did?
Nope.
Okay. Wes went with Lineker by TKO in 2, 0 points. Damon went with Ali Bagotinov by decision, 10 points. David went with Bagotinov, TKO in 2, 4 points. Sugar went with Bagotinov by TKO in 2, 4 points. Alex went with Lineker by TKO in 2, 0 points. And I went with Bagotinov by TKO in 2, 4 points for me as well. And that would be over to Alex.
All right. So the next fight of the evening was the UFC pay-per-view opener. After horrendous preliminary bouts, which every single fight ended in a decision, we had a barn burner, ladies and gentlemen. Abel Trujillo and Jamie Varner went at it in an epic battle, throwing caution to the wind, throwing haymakers from left field. It wasn't the most technical battle, but it really reminded fans why we love this sport sometimes. A good brawl is all you need for excitement. In the end, Jamie Varner was exhausted, hurting. Abel Trujillo walked forward, got nailed with a vicious right hook that flattened him out, knocked him out completely face first. Abel Trujillo defeated Jamie Varner by KO round 2 with 2:32 in the round. How'd you guys see that, Rich?
Wow, man. I thought that was an exciting fight. Not only did I think that was clearly deserving of fight of the night, I'm thinking that's probably going to be a contender for fight of the year. And also that knockout, holy shit, that one knockout of the night. Again, I think that's going to be a contender for knockout of the year, too. Nothing but punches being thrown with the baddest of intentions, man. And Goldie, actually, during the event, he referred to them as, what did you say about my mother punches?
Nice.
And then Julie Cadiz, when she saw the knockout on Twitter, she typed, "Holy fuck, potato!" So yeah, that was really exciting. I love that one.
That's what really bad fights.
That's what I call an exciting fight that's got you on the edge of your seat. To me, I love that kind of a fight, man.
Yeah. Oh, that keeps your blood pumping for the remainder of the night. I mean, yeah, absolutely. Just it makes a fan happy. I mean, that's just an amazing fight. And yeah, maybe fight of the year. You never know.
Some people on Twitter were just terrible. They're like, oh, there's no technique there. That's a terrible fight. They're just throwing big haymakers. Guys, it's a fight sometimes. It's not always just technique. They're fighting too. They're fighting.
Yeah, when two guys can hit hard, man, they're going to try to take the other guy out.
It's a hell of a fight. They were seriously throwing everything with the intention of killing the other person.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. It was a great fight.
I mean, we don't want to see every MMA fight like that, but damn, especially on a card like last night, that was clearly the best and most entertaining fight on the entire card.
I thought after that fight happened, I thought, oh man, yeah, we're in store for an amazing main card, and I thought Lineker was going to get the knockout the next fight, and then well, we all know what happened then.
Did they win 100K each, or how much
No,
each?
it was 75K for fight of the night, and Trujillo also won 50K for the knockout of the night. So Trujillo left with 125K, and Jamie Varner left with 75K.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good to see them get the knockout.
They should have been a little more generous with that since there was no submission of the night.
Well, they gave him an extra 50K, Rich.
I'm sure they got more than 50.
No, Rich. What happened was the bonuses are usually 50K.
Yeah, they split the other 50 to the fight of the night guys. But
yeah, exactly. That's good.
I honestly think they got more than that.
Well, the fighters always get more than what's declared, you know?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably got something behind the scenes that we didn't see. But I saw a couple of sites reporting that between the two of them, they earned 250K in bonuses. So maybe there's another, 50K out there that we don't know about.
Well, I'm sure they have contract stipulations like all professional athletes do that their managers would put in. Like if I was Cerrone's manager, next time I was signing a contract, I'd say I would make, because he's had the most post-fight bonuses. So I would add a stipulation in the contract signing saying, if he does a fight of the night, an extra 25% or, some whatever. So there's always stuff like that.
100% agree. Why should those kind of guys should be rewarded for that? Donald Cerrone should be rewarded for being such a fantastically fun fighter all the time, every single fight, all the time. Wow.
Yeah, there's only going to be a few fighters who'll be able to have that sort of clout to make that sort of a demand.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that's what makes them special fighters. It really does. Like, I love to watch Cerrone.
Dude, that head kick KO was...
wasn't that great?
That was amazing.
So insane. He wasn't even looking that great before that, honestly.
No.
But KO was hellacious. Oh, my God.
It's like classic Thai boxing, just lights out.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Chin to the chin.
Does anyone want to see... like Trujillo fight maybe Edson Barboza, or do they want to, or do you guys want to see him fight like someone higher up, like Nate Diaz or T.J. Grant or Benson Henderson even?
I don't think he's in a title picture like that yet. No. I would love to see an Edson Barboza fight. That'd be
great.
Really fun fight.
Do you think that's a good rankings matchup?
Not necessarily the best rankings matchup, but I mean, I don't know. Where are you saying that Trujillo's ranked right now?
I think Trujillo's now in the top 10.
I think they should go ahead and
I don't know about that. 155 is a very deep division.
I think they should go ahead and rebook Bobby Green versus Abel Trujillo, the original fight that was supposed to happen last night.
I don't like when they do that because then that means that his win tonight really didn't mean anything, you know?
But Bobby Green is ranked in the top 15.
And where Trujillo's not yet.
Nope.
I don't think so.
He definitely will be after tomorrow or today when the rankings are updated.
Bobby Green is ranked 12, and Jamie Varner's not even in the top 15. So I think a match with Bobby Green is definitely warranted.
Okay.
Yeah, a win over Jamie Varner, even if it's as exciting as it was, is not what it used to be.
Well, the thing for me is I just think the UFC should push their prospects into. You don't need to have four fight win streaks to get to a good fighter. If you have a 2-fight or 3-fight win streak, give him a good guy. And I know you guys are thinking Khabib Nurmagomedov, but Khabib wasn't that guy yet when they fought originally. You know, when Abel and Khabib first fought, they were on like the prelims. No one knew who Khabib was. You know, Khabib's won, I think, 6 fights in a row, and he has fought no one. It's kind of like annoying. Wow.
And I think he lost the fight to
Tibau.
Yeah, that was a horrible decision.
Okay, guys, we're starting to run a little long on time here. Anything else on this particular fight that we're discussing, Varner Trujillo?
Nope.
No? Okay. Let me recap.
So we are off to David now.
Well, let me recap how we did on our picks here.
Okay.
West, Jamie Varner by KO in 2-0. Damon, Jamie Varner by decision, 0. David, Jamie Varner by decision, 0. Sugar, Jamie Varner by decision, 0. Alex, Trujillo by TKO in 2, 10 points, the only one to get it right.
What's up?
Wow.
And Jamie Varner by decision for me, 0 points. So, yeah, none of us except Alex were expecting that. Okay, over to
you guys in the
David.
pre-fight show, I told you.
So I guess this would have been the last one on the undercard. Iaquinta and Lee. Iaquinta coming from the Longo Serra. He got off to a great start, came out, landed that big left, knocked him down, went for that heel hook. Did some ground and pound, went for the heel hook, looked deep but didn't get it. That was the first round. And then Lee coming out in the second round and, you know, really showing some good poise for a young fighter and doing really, really good. He went for the sub as well. I think what it really came down to, and Iaquinta was awarded the decision, but I think what it really came down to was in that last minute, Iaquinta was just getting off a little more on Lee, and I think that's kind of what the deciding factor in that fight was to the judges was Iaquinta really keeping that pace in the last minute of the fight and giving it to Lee.
What do you guys think about that judge that scored one round 10-8 and the other round 10-8 for Lee? Second round 10-8 for Lee and first round 10-8 for Iaquinta.
Yeah, that was odd, wasn't it?
Totally odd.
Stupid.
I thought that was stupid.
I mean, you could say it was, but why? What's the point?
Well, if anything, maybe the second round with Lee, because he was so damn close on so many occasions of, you know, getting the submission. I mean,
he was on his back for literally 4 minutes of that round.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you really have to wipe the floor with the guy to get a 10-8 round. You know what I mean? Obviously I didn't see the fight, but do you guys really think that was a 10-8 round?
No.
I could see the argument for trying to make it that. You know?
The only way is there's a 10-8 round should be is if a guy is going to be and should be finished and then just doesn't get finished and the rest of the round he does nothing. That's a 10-8 round.
That's generally the way I tend to think about a 10-8 round. But I also want to say
that did not happen last night. Kevin Lee fought in the first round. Like, he was there. Yeah. He got knocked. He got rocked really bad. But he was there. He was fighting. He was firing back. Yeah, and man, I cannot believe he took that punch from Iaquinta in the first round and went through it. I couldn't believe it. That was a wow.
Yeah, I was a little upset because I thought that was actually a great fight. I mean, we talked about how the card wasn't that good, but you know, other than the fight of the night, this fight was great. I mean, like I said, clearly, like I said, you know, Lee was so close to getting that sub in round 2 on multiple occasions, and I can't believe that Iaquinta even got out of that first rear naked choke attempt. And then I just thought that Lee made a bad decision to stick with his stand-up game for too long. I mean, he clearly was the better man on the ground than Iaquinta, and I just thought he should have tried to pursue that more. But I guess he wanted to make a point because, as I said, when I interviewed him, he said he likes to strike and he likes to grapple. But to me, in that fight, it looked like he was much better and would have been better suited grappling than striking.
That kid is 21 years old, the second youngest fighter in the UFC right now. He has a bright future, man. He looked really good last night, and Iaquinta is no joke.
No,
He
definitely.
trains with Chris Hyman, Ray Longo. Iaquinta is legit, very legit.
Yeah.
And Kevin Lee really looked good last night. I know he lost, but he should not hang his head.
Yeah,
He's going to come back, and he's going to.
He didn't lose any stock in that.
He's a
For
prospect
UFC
to watch
debut,
out for sure. And I also
he didn't
really
lose any
like.
stock.
He was like.
He didn't lose any
What'd you
stock
say,
in his
Rich?
standings. He didn't lose any
Really
stock
not.
in his standings.
I like this. He had this boxing kind of style where he was like putting his shoulder out, covering his face, which you don't really see very much.
Blocking with his elbow as well.
It leaves you susceptible to the takedown, but Iaquinta wasn't really trying to take him down, so it was.
Well, he didn't want any
really
part of the
cool.
ground game.
Also,
with him,
what
I don't
about
think.
that kick he threw in like the third round? He like was held up and he tried to kick him in the air. It was crazy.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
remember?
Well,
Yeah.
That was wild.
now I've totally forgot what I was going to say.
Well, it looks like a lot of people on the web actually thought it was a draw. No thoughts on that?
It was a close fight. I think the first round could have been a 10-8 as well because the whole knockdown. You guys said he was fighting back, yeah, but it was still a one-sided beatdown that first round.
I don't think one knockdown makes a round a 10-8 round. This is not boxing.
I agree
In
with that.
boxing, Wes, it would be a 10-9 round. So yeah.
It wasn't just the knockdown though. It was knockdown in 5 minutes of controlling the octagon, making Lee pedal.
I mean, it was yeah. I mean, he was fighting for his life the whole round for sure.
Oh, I know what my thought was. Kevin Lee has not lost any stock in the UFC. For a UFC debut, he did extremely well. That was my thought.
Yes.
Oh, and the other thought that I had, it was mentioned in the post-fight presser that Lee was also transported to the hospital after the fight, and he may have a potential knee injury. So I hope that's not the case. That would be terrible.
Wow.
Yeah, I want to see that guy back in the cage ASAP.
Well, that's when you do that heel hook, that's where a lot of the pressure can be applied with that.
Yeah, it blows your knee
It's in
out.
the knee. Yeah.
It's one of the worst. It's so painful.
So he probably felt that, yeah, my buddy put one on me once and actually put it on me, and holy Toledo, does that hurt. So he probably got that pain tinge where it's like, yeah, you better get checked up. And
yeah, because you
especially
can't
with
even,
your knee.
Yeah, you don't feel it until it's too late because there's not like the nerve system around that part of your knee like there is in your elbow per se or your shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate. I hope that's not the case. I hope everything is okay for him because
he showed great poise for a young fighter, and absolutely good for him.
I was impressed. I thought he was going to win in the second round. I was rooting for him.
Oh man, that one had me on the edge of my chair too. But again, I'm a fan of Kevin Lee, so.
Yeah, I was all hyped up because of you, Rich. You got me all hyped up for the fight.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
It was exciting, man. He looked really good. He really did. I really wanted him to get that submission in the second round, and I called it in my pre-fight. I said that his last 4 fights were by wins by submission, and only Iaquinta's only 2 losses are by submission. So.
Yeah, and when you DM me through Twitter with that, I said, "Yeah, man, that made my mind up. I'm going that way with you, Alex."
Yeah, it looked like it was written in the stars, and it looked like it was going down. But Iaquinta he's a warrior, man. He doesn't give up. And also, Michael Chiesa is really good. That's it. We know that.
Yeah.
Any more comments on that one, fellas?
Nothing.
Okay, let me sum that one up there. Pretty much all of us thought that Kevin Lee was going to win by sub and 2. Wes, Damon, me, Alex, we all got 0. David went with Iaquinta by decision, 10 points, and so did Sugar, 10 points. So congrats to you guys on that one.
Cool.
Okay, over to Sugar.
All right, this last fight we're going to talk about, I don't think we're going to spend too much time on it because it was extremely lackluster, but middleweights Nick Catone and Tom Watson had a little grappling exchange, back and forth striking. What do you guys think of it?
Whoa.
Not a real exciting fight. I was expecting more from Watson than he delivered. I mean, I actually had him winning the fight 29-28. But one of those fucking judges, I'm not sure who exactly it was, but scoring the fight 30-27 Catone.
Yeah, when like you get a judge scoring it one way, like 30-27, you get another judge scoring it 30-27 the other way, or like 29-28 the other way, you know something's wrong.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anyone that's listening to this that hasn't watched the fight, watch it. It's horrible. And yeah, that judging was really bad, but the fight was really bad, so it was kind of impossible to judge. I don't really blame the judges on that, because how do you judge that fight? Nick Catone was doing nothing but holding him, and Tom Watson couldn't hurt him. It was horrible.
Yeah, but I do believe that the strikes that Watson was throwing, they were in numbers, maybe not in power, but in numbers he was outpointing him quite clearly in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I thought he outstruck him for sure, but he was also outgrappled for sure.
Yeah, I just thought that the way the judges were scoring the fights last night, they were giving more credence to takedowns than strikes. I mean, it was blowing me away.
I mean, did you find that judge's decision so egregious? Like, who cared? Like, that fight, who deserved to win? None of them. Neither of them deserved to win. They didn't put anything on the line. They didn't try anything. They didn't go for anything. It was nothing. They had nothing.
Isn't Watson the guy who's been fighting guys and they've been mysteriously getting stoppages or injured during the fight? Or isn't that the guy I'm thinking about?
No, that's Jimmy Manuwa.
Oh, right.
He's fighting Gustafsson.
What do you mean mysteriously getting injured?
Like Manuwa's last two opponents have had leg injuries. Ryan Jimmo and Cyril.
They just wound up quitting.
Yeah, they both had leg injuries. Well, it's not quitting. It's because Jimmy Manuwa is a beast and he's kicking them in the leg and hurting them.
Is that what it was? I thought one of them wasn't a leg injury. I thought one of them was a shoulder or something like that. No?
No, I think both Jimmo and Diabate were both leg injuries. But back to Watson. Yeah, previously he beat Stanislav Nedkov in a war, which was a great fight. And then he lost to Taos Latis, who looks new and improved. But yeah, Watson does not look like a UFC caliber fighter in my opinion.
So what do you think? What's his future going to be in the UFC, guys?
I don't think he gets cut. I think if they're going to give him one more fight. If he loses that, then he'll get cut.
Yeah, he's a UK fighter, and they don't have too many of them around that they want to keep around. Plus, he's one of those characters that likes to wear costumes and shit.
Well, if he's a UK fighter, then why the hell was he on the card last night and instead of in Britain and England? Clearly, they don't really care that much, you know?
Yeah.
The card in England is literally only a couple weeks away. Why wouldn't they put him on there?
Yeah, and he's a big favorite and a big well-known fighter over there in the UK too.
Exactly. So it lends me to believe that the UFC does not believe that he is anything of worth, and he's not.
A lot of times it has to do with the booking. The guy maybe he just wanted to get in early.
But I mean, we're talking weeks here. We're not talking months or here. We're talking weeks. The event is within what? Is it in March? March like 15th or something?
Yeah, if we're going to go with conspiracy theories, I'm going to go with Alex on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, and
I'm going to go with maybe he just wanted to fight earlier in the year.
Yeah.
That could be.
All right. I mean, I don't understand. We're talking about weeks, though. That's the thing for me. If we're talking about January,
March is a month
April,
away. That's a long time for a fighter to sit out like Tom Watson.
And you know, in that month of training, you can easily get injured.
Okay.
And it could be, too, that Watson wanted the exposure in America rather than the UK because they already know him in the UK.
I definitely see both sides, for sure. All the arguments work for me. I just tend to believe that Watson is not quality for the UFC. He doesn't bring it the way he should, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And on a side note here, guys, I was watching Twitter last night, and Nick Catone tweeted a little after midnight, "Happy to get my hand raised tonight. Unfortunately, I'm stuck in a terrible hospital in Newark with a torn ACL."
He's in what?
Stuck in the hospital with a torn ACL. So
He tore his ACL?
Yeah.
He'll be out for a while.
Any other comments on that one?
Nope.
That's about it.
All right, let me recap how we did on that one. Wes, Tom Watson by decision, 0. Damon, Nick Catone by decision, 10. David, Tom Watson by decision, 0. Sugar, Tom Watson by TKO, 2, 0. Alex, Tom Watson by TKO in 2-0. And Rich, Tom Watson by TKO in 2-0. So congrats to Damon. Only one who got that one right, but he got some help from the judges, in my opinion. All right, guys. It looks like we are at the final thoughts segment. We already spoke about the of the night bonuses, so we'll just skip on by that. Is there anything that you guys wanted to talk about? I did want to ask you guys one question before we move on. How did you guys rate that event overall on a scale of 1 to 10?
4.
I'll give it a 5.
5.
I'm going with the 5 as well. Who are we missing?
Not applicable.
Oh, you didn't see, right?
Yeah.
Any other fights you want to talk about on that one, guys, or do we want to move on?
Was anyone else upset with the effort fighters were putting in last night? Is it me, or did it just seem there was very lackluster effort throughout?
In my opinion, after the Varner Trujillo fight, the only fighter that showed really any true effort was Lamas. I thought he really showed great heart.
Right, that's really all I saw last night. Did you watch any of the prelims?
I didn't. I only got to see the prelims that we had picked, and the Catone fight I ended up not even watching because it was just, yeah.
Well, you didn't miss anything. Every single fight was horrendous, literally. Yeah. The only that looked, Neil Magny actually looked pretty good. I know no one's talking about him today, but he actually did look pretty good. He looked the best he's ever looked in the octagon for sure. But against a guy
following your feed, actually, Alex.
Thanks, man.
Was that the first fight of the night?
Yeah. But the thing is, Ghassan Umalatov, I'd never heard of that guy, and I've never seen him fight, so it's hard for me to gauge Magny's performance off that, you know.
Well, DFW was happy with it. He said it was one of the better fights of the night.
I was happy because, that guy's a soldier, and, I like his story, and he's a tough guy, and I want him to win. I like those kind of guys.
I think we lost Alex.
Yeah, I'm just excited for Super Bowl today. Not the greatest event last night, so I'm hoping the game's gonna make up for it today and get me really excited. But yeah.
I don't even give a fuck about.
You know what? And you know what the thing is now that, and as of late, neither have I, because of the direction that the sport's gone. I don't get as excited as I used to.
Sport with all the fucking rules. I mean, I don't watch football anymore. But with what I'm hearing and all the rules that they're creating, and you can't do this and you can't do that, and it's like, holy Christ. Yeah. Why don't we just put flags on the fucking guys and call it flag football,
Pretty much, it would be nice to, I used to get so insanely excited, and now it's just kind of an event.
That's the end of the show, fellas.
All right. As always, Rich, it's always good to join you, and I always thank you for this opportunity to get my opinion and my voice out there, and I thank you again, sir.
Yeah, man, I love having you on the show, man. You're a great contributor, and I love having the other guys on, too. I wish, they could have stuck around to the very end. It seems like every time Wes bails out, we always wind up wrapping the show up right after he leaves. All right, guys, now is the time to say goodbye. So, again, thank you guys for being here. I couldn't say thank you to Alex, but thanks, Alex, if you're listening. And we'll see you next time, guys. Goodbye.
Have a great day. Take care, gentlemen.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Somebody talk to me.